another episode of Natching Out Friends. We have actually one of our good friends here with us now. Ben, would you do the honors of introducing our nice friend here?
Yes, we have a friend, despite the name of the podcast. This is our friend, Mr. Thad Wagner. Welcome, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
It's one of those friends that you wish you could see more, but you just don't.
Yes.
Michael, you live 10 minutes across town.
I know. I'm well aware.
But I think that's part of the problem, right? Like, once you have a life and kids and all that built in, like, even the friends that you do have, like, that's kind of the whole point, right? Sometimes it's impossible.
It's not my ideal situation, but it is what it is right now. I mean, I think in a couple of years when they're older, it'll be a lot easier to do things. But right now, my youngest is getting tubes in a couple weeks, so it's been a rough in her ears. Her earlobes haven't like clearly developed. So
how old are your girls now, Michael?
One turns 4 in June. The other one turns 3 in August. Yeah, August.
They're pretty self-sufficient. You can get out a little more, I'm sure.
I know.
No, it gets easier. It gets easier. Mine are
no, I know it does.
But
I mean, Ben's going through it right now with his boys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Life takes a turn. You don't have your time to hang out anymore. That's for sure. Or you barely even have time for phone calls, right, Michael?
Whoa. I mean, yeah. I was just telling Ben I like silence when I drive to work, and sometimes you just can't have a few minute conversation with you guys. I mean, it's a plus, but I get home at 5:30, and sometimes it's not, the time isn't right to have that conversation, and I don't.
Wait. Are you telling me you drive to work every day for 30 minutes in dead silence?
No, I listen to something, but I'm not talking.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
You know what I mean? I'm not.
It's different than just sitting in silence.
I have done that though, and it's
you listen to music.
Quite enjoyable.
Like you should listen to music.
No, I do.
Don't listen to sports radio.
I don't listen to sports radio.
Good for you. The music.
I do listen to podcasts, but they're not all about sports. But yes, I could be better. I am terrible at it. But I feel like you're busy now, Thad. You got a lot going on too.
Yeah, I still find time to reach out to my friends. I mean, if you did a little more, you could probably change the name of your podcast.
That's what this is all about.
This is, yeah.
Part of it, listen, and I'll be the first one to admit, part of it is my unwillingness to make friends. So,
well, I agree with you there. I'm not a big fan of making friends. I enjoy people, but I don't go out of my way to bring more people into my life. That's for sure.
I've always said,
I've got enough.
Right. I always say I don't want to make new friends. I can't even see the ones I like, and I have.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I am over it.
It's hard.
I hit my Dunbar number of, I think, 8. That's the number, right?
What's a Dunbar?
Yeah.
You guys have never heard of the Dunbar number?
No.
You can only bring in so many people into your life, and then once you hit that threshold, you can't remember any more people.
Is the number 2? Because
I thought it was 8, but I think it's like 250. But
for me, God.
I feel like it's at it. Like there's friends that I used to work with that I don't ever see and talk to.
Now, Michael, I run into people on a daily basis that are like, "How's Michael?" And I'm not talking like the same person every day.
Sure.
You used to be. You still are. You just hide from it a little bit, but you used to be the most popular guy in the world.
Yeah.
Well, I had a good run. I had a good run in my, my childhood.
Retired at 27 years old.
Wait, weren't you were you voted? Were you a homecoming king in high school, right?
No, I lost.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to bring that up.
Scepter Brownlee. It's right around when I got suspended, so I don't think they wanted me to win.
I bet Scepter Brownlee has a ton of friends.
He probably does.
He does, I'm sure.
He used to live in Atlanta. He's a basketball coach. I don't know what he's doing now, but that's the last I heard.
Listen, I went to that high school, and I promise you, I feel like Michael was more popular. And it's not because I knew him, but,
Maybe that was part of the problem, though. Maybe those people are
too powerful.
I'm like Tay Tay, in high school. They were tired of hearing my name. You know what I mean?
Tay-Tay? What's that?
Taylor Swift.
Oh man.
Should know anything about
Ha,
Swifties?
ha.
Gosh. So Thad comes on, makes me feel dumb because I don't know what Dunbar is. Michael comes on, makes me feel old because I don't know Taylor Swift's nickname.
Well, at least you didn't
No, it's fine.
peak too early. At least you didn't peak too early. Then you're
That's right.
still working on it.
Wait, so Michael, I told Michael about this, about making friends, that there was one time, like, my wife and one of her friends, like, set up a mandate for me and this guy, and he came over to a pool party I had. And he showed up at the pool party looking like he was dressed to go to a My Chemical Romance concert, right? He was goth as a 40-year-old man. And
Married with a child, right? That's your kid's age.
yes, he has a child. But he had a stocking cap on, and he wore it in July in Atlanta at a pool party. So part of it was, my reluctance to take on a friend like this, right?
Well, you didn't want to join the cool guy club? Is that what it
I
was?
I just didn't know how to like break into this conversation where it's like, I was like, do you want to borrow a suit and go swimming? No, he's fine. No, I want to wear this.
Were you going to offer him a suit?
I did offer them a suit. I said, hey, let's go swimming. Here's a suit.
That's kind of intimate, isn't it?
Listen, I'm trying to make friends because I don't have a lot.
Well, so I thought you should have been friends with him, even if you couldn't find it in your person to do it. I would have made it into a game and said, "How can I like act my way through this, just to get more information of why he's wearing full winter gear to a pool party in July."
Do you think that's a good way to start a friendship? Is like a game where I'm like actually like
selfishly, absolutely not. But again, being selfish, I wanted to hear how this friendship would blossom.
Well, anyway, I had another crack at this past weekend. So I went to my kid's school they threw a party, and it was a 90s themed party, right? So I had like a tracksuit on. I had like Dwayne Wade glasses that flipped up, like with the double glasses. Remember that? Like
Dwayne, right?
From a different world.
Yeah, Dwayne.
Okay. Was that his name?
I think so.
What did I say? I said Dwayne Wade.
You said it. Dwayne Wade. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a basketball player. Yeah, not him. The other guy. Kadeem Hardison. Oh, look at that. I pulled out the name.
Nice.
Kadeem Hardison glasses. Anyway, that guy's there because his son goes to that same school.
Wait, Dwayne is?
No, Dwayne Wade plays basketball. Kadeem Hardison was also not there. His children are probably, grown. I feel like he's older than us. No, this the person who was I can't remember his name. Let's call him Kyle, just for short. So Kyle was actually there, and like his wife and my wife were talking. He had the same outfit on, except different colors. Instead of black now, like the hat was yellow, and it was like bright neon to go with the 90s party, but it was still the same outfit. And I was left with another choice. Is like, do I talk to this guy? And I just didn't. I just awkwardly like didn't acknowledge he was there.
But he didn't acknowledge you either. Or was there any point you think he tried?
No, he didn't try. There was no effort. And it was just, I just couldn't do it.
Oh, man. I think you missed a golden opportunity just to at least, if you don't want to be his friend, you should at least pry and say, hey man, interesting look. Who'd you, it's an 80s party. Who'd you carve it off for?
No, but see, it was the worst time for that because he's like, it's a 90s party, dude. Like that, it actually works. Like he should be wearing that finally. Like he was appropriate.
Okay. But then you could have said to him, hey man, I didn't have a 90s party at my house when you came this past summer.
Would you want to be friends with like a guy that you barely remembered and maybe was like, oh, I was going to a concert that night? And like, I'm just saying, I think it's a lost cause. But anyway, I thought you'd appreciate that I got to see that gentleman again.
I do.
Sparks did not fly again.
Because you stayed away.
I have hesitancy. I couldn't. It was like
you didn't have swimming apparel that would accommodate his wallet chain. I'm assuming he sounds like he's definitely rocking a wallet chain.
I mean, I don't know if he had one, but I was talking with another dad, and we both commented about how we should have had wallet chain because it was appropriate for a 90s theme party.
Does anybody else know about this guy that was at that party and maybe was at this little thing besides your wife? And like then he
Yes.
wore the same garb to your pool party?
Oh man, I don't know. I'd have to like interview some people
Man,
that
I
are
feel
like,
like
again, other children in my son's class, parents who I've met, who I'm like bad with names. I'm constantly like asking my wife, like, "What's his name again?" She's like, "It's Tack."
I
It's like
hate
it's Tack,
learning
like
people.
a thumbtack. She's like, "Yeah, it's Tack." I'm like,
His
"Okay."
name is Tack.
Well, his name is Tack. Yes.
I don't think
He's
you
a
can.
great guy, and they all know my name, and they remember me, and they're like, "Hey, Ben, how you doing?" Like one guy, I went to a birthday party for my younger son, and this guy comes up, he goes, "Ben, what's up? Where are our kids at?" And I look over, and my kid's standing playing with another kid, and I was like, "I don't know if that's his kid because I don't know who he is." I'm like, "Yeah, they're around here somewhere." I was like, "You never know." And I was like, "Oh, like I feel like such a jerk," and I
So
don't.
wait, is this Tat guy a potential friend?
Yes, like I've had good conversations with him. Like,
Is there a chance you're ever gonna call him Tic Tac instead, or like
no, that's
mess up
just
his
rude.
name?
That's not his name. That's
Well,
just
I
rude.
know it's not his name, but you can mess it up on
Listen,
accident.
I had to ask 600 times because I thought it was Tall because I know someone else's wife's husband is named Tall, Tal, and he is also very tall. And let me tell you,
Is he foreign?
try not to mention that when a guy's name is Tall and who is like 6'6". Try not to mention it. Anyway, and then there's another name like Tan, right? That's a name. Anyway, I
Yeah,
couldn't remember which one it was.
Tick. No, Tac.
That's not a
I
good way
Tall.
to start the friendship,
right,
my
yeah.
boy.
So, and I feel like I also have like a fair bit of I think it's called aphasia, where you can't really remember people's faces. Like I have to meet you like 6 times before I can remember your face, and I'm also terrible with names. And I think people are like, "Oh, that guy's just a jerk. He doesn't take the time to remember my name or face."
So I had an
And
incident
maybe
like that.
maybe that's it. I don't know, but like I can't. I want to. I don't have
Yeah,
the ability.
so the boys play hockey. Here we are 6 months into the hockey season, and we're playing in today was the championship. Standing there talking to one of the other dads, and he goes, "Yeah, Mia's had influenza all week." I said, "Is Mia your wife or your daughter?" I've been hanging out with these people for 6 months. I don't even know any of their names. I found them all out this weekend, just in time to forget them until next season. But
Well, now
I
you're
don't
not
know.
going to forget Mia and her influenza. It could be your go-to every time you see it. Like, hey, how's Mia's influenza doing? Is it flaring up again?
Yeah,
I guess Michael's
yeah.
just leaving. He's just like,
Sorry, the
he's just
kid. The kid
out.
left the TV. The kid left the TV on. It was like YouTube, and he's watching Fart Night on YouTube.
Fortnite.
I
Can
can't
you
get
be
mad.
anyone in Fortnite?
You can buy skins. You can get like.
How how often does Ben hit you up to buy him skins?
Is that
He
illegal?
doesn't. He
He
doesn't.
Getting the
doesn't. My
skins?
No, it's basically
Illegal
you're
posting?
paying they're paying these famous people to design a look of theirs, and then they'll
yeah.
put it on there, and people can use Fortnite bucks or whatever and get it.
So my youngest hit me up to buy him. He said he wants to be a brat, and I said, I think you can do as much damage as a banana, and that was the end of that story. So,
The best one Ben got was um, marshmallow. It was dope.
uh
That was the one I approved of.
I thought you can't be a character. Can I be like Mario?
I mean, I
A
think there's time.
marshmallow or a frog? What
I think
was-
there's times that those have been out there. Like they've done Superman and Batman, and
I don't
I think
understand how it works.
basically you can
they,
just be anything you want, but you're playing to kill everyone else.
yeah, and they
Or
put
you
him
can
up
play in a
for
squad or pairs.
they put him up for a short period of time, so the kids are like, "It's gonna disappear, Dad. I need it. I need
I
it.
see.
It's gonna be gone tomorrow. It's gonna be gone in like an hour. I need $25."
Ah,
But
sounds like a
Fortnite,
genius
so
business idea.
your kids play Fortnite then, right, Thad?
They do, yeah.
And it's not a bad game.
No,
Kids
it's
like
just it's well, so they're gonna have a ton of friends because that's how they interact with their friends. So they're basically playing a game, but they're just sitting there chatting with their friends the entire time. So
yeah,
that's their relationships.
right.
So if I got Fortnite, could I make friends that way?
You could
You
make, well, I don't
absolutely.
know. It
Are
depends.
there other adults that play it?
There are, but you're going to be coming in as a noob. The kids they'd be calling you a
Yeah.
noob. You're not
Yeah.
going to make any friends. You're
Yeah,
going
you're gonna suck, and
you're
no
going
one's
to
gonna like
suck
you.
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried playing once, and I just my anxiety. I just couldn't do it. Like,
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
no.
awful.
No, they
I love
build
watching them
these
play. Yeah.
they build these like wooden towers, and somebody else shoots them down, and they're like, "Hey, you can't whatever they call it. You can't destroy my builds. No destroying builds." And I'm like, "What are all these rules?" I think the point of the
Well,
game
so
is
that's
killing each other.
your kid and whoever he's playing with is making these rules.
Screw that.
It sounds too complicated. I'm out. I'm out.
No, it's just like Bond back in the
No,
day.
I'd rather be by myself, honestly. This sounds like too much work. It's
Oh,
like,
they start fighting. You're spraying, and I'm like, I think that's the object of the game is that guy A is supposed to kill guy B, however he can do it. I don't know.
I can't
It
even work
always
the
just turns into
controllers.
an argument.
The controllers are too complex. There's too many buttons. Once it wasn't,
There used to be 2,
buttons. Yeah.
and then there was 4, and now there's God knows how many.
I think
now,
there's at least
now the
12.
control pad is another button. Yeah, there's at
Yeah,
least
it's like 12.
It's too much.
College football's coming back out. I'm super excited about that.
I'm super pumped about that, and I think that we should. You remember us playing that back in the day?
Oh yeah,
at Tom's house.
oh yeah,
I think we should revamp that.
yeah. I'm gonna get that for Ben for getting on the honor roll. I'm really
AKA
just
buy it
getting
for
it.
yourself.
I'm
Just
really
for an
buying it for
excuse.
myself.
Just an excuse to buy it for yourself.
Because it's the greatest game. It's a top 5 game of all time.
Everybody I knew played that except for me. I tried like twice. I was like, no, I'm not. This is horrible. Like, and everyone I played would just like score mercilessly on me. I was like, I don't understand how this is fun.
You
So
were-
you're awesome at this game, or
I wasn't good at any of those games at all. Not
Ben,
very. I could hold my own at sports, but you weren't very good at the sports games except for one.
That's not true.
And-
Yeah, there was one that Ben and I'm sure you went over there too, but do you remember the game we used to play over at your house?
I was talking about college with NHL hits.
No, I'm talking pre that. Bob would sit and watch us. I believe it was called Baseball Stars. It was a
Baseball
baseball
Stars
game we played
on the
on
original Nintendo.
Yeah, so
I think
that's
it was
before
on
we knew each other. That's
64,
that's an all timer for me. Yeah,
yeah. It
Baseball
was a
Stars.
great game. Yeah,
You
and I
build
think
up your.
Ben, honestly, I think you played it just to like. I think I was the one who's like, dude, we're playing Baseball Stars, and you're like, okay, fine, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and then like if you were there was one team. If you were the good team, then you could like hang in there.
I do remember that because it was in your other room, and we'd go in there sometimes to play. We didn't do it a lot, right?
It was like in the front room, first room to the right there.
Yeah. That's where the Nintendo was.
But Thad, in college, we had a Dreamcast, and they had NHL Hits, which is basically the NFL Blitz, where you're just like monstrous and throw people around.
I
NBA
still wasn't
Jam
good at that
type.
either.
Yeah, super aggressive, but it was like 3-on-3, right? And I never played because I was terrible. And Ben would play and hold his own for a little bit, but the announcing was the best part because Ben would just yell. He always played with the Red Wings, right?
Mm.
And then he would always scream crap or whoever it was. It was the
That's right. I do.
and it would
Because
piss
the names
off
are
everyone
funny,
else.
they're all like Eastern European. I don't remember. They had these really, really wild names like Ruben Krasov. So I just yell. Like,
It was the
it was
best.
terrible. In college, we used to play where like if you got scored on, you had to take a drink. And I would play like our roommates who were really good. I drank a bottle of rum like one night, and then the other person didn't drink at all. It was Chris Neumeier, and he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go." I was like, "I'm leaving. See you later." And I just drank a bottle of rum, and I'm like, "Ugh."
He's just casually drinking the person you're playing.
"Yeah, video games just not my thing."
Well, there's a few games that were your thing. I mean, you loved Bond, right?
Bond
Who didn't love
was
Bond?
okay.
Are you
Like
talking
everyone played Bond.
GoldenEye?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean,
It was a social thing. Like I was still not good. The one I was okay at was Mario Kart. Occasionally, I would play Mario Kart, and that'd be all right.
The family-friendly Mario Kart. But I think we're onto something here, Ben. You've accumulated all these friends via getting your ass kicked in video games. Maybe you should jump back into
And just
jump
be
back into
I like it.
just let people just wail the
You
crap
can call
out of you.
you
No,
can
I'm
call up Tack, Tick, Tall, Tom.
Tall
Tick,
and Tack.
tick, tall,
Tack
tack.
and Tall, two separate gentlemen.
Call them all
Are they-
up.
By the way, is Tack and Tall both? Are they American?
Tall is
Tall
not
is,
American,
well, technically, yeah, I think they both are. But if you're
well,
wondering, yes, Tak is
technically.
of Asian descent and
Okay.
probably short for something like, more Asian.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know though, because that's all I know him by. So, but
Reminds me of,
Tall is, I don't know, Dutch maybe. He's got
okay,
a normal last name. I don't know it,
but
but
not a normal first name.
I don't know. It could be. What's normal? Is Michael normal? Is
I
that
mean,
sorry?
more normal. But back to video games. I was just thinking, like, those Bond and Mario Kart were the two best games, bar none, growing
Oh yeah,
up.
for sure.
And I don't. There's new Mario Karts, right, Thad? Have you played them?
It's basically the same thing. I don't think it's changed like at all. There's Mario Kart 8 came out, which finally replaced Mario Kart, but it's the exact same thing. It's just
Just
like the graphics are a little tighter.
is that on what the Nintendo Switch or whatever?
Switch, I think, yeah. Yeah, the kids like I mean it's still a great game. I think they would play it if we pulled it out, but they've graduated onto, Fortnite's like the thing now. So
Yeah,
What's Fortnite on?
I think it's on all. Like
yeah.
you can
You could
play like
download it.
if you have a Switch, you can play your friend on an iPad who plays another like somebody could be on an
Mm,
Xbox.
I don't think you do it on the iPhone. Maybe you can again, but they pulled that off that platform for a while.
Cross-platform. I don't know about the but yeah,
PlayStation and Xbox.
Xbox.
That's
Yeah,
you just download it for free.
What a world!
Nintendo.
I'm
You
so out.
download it for free, and then you beg your parents for skins, and then that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
I'm so out of it. So out of the loop.
Oh, V Bucks. That's what they're called, V Bucks.
Yeah, yeah. Got a birthday coming up. What do I want? I don't know. 9 million V-Bucks.
And
No.
I never remember how to do it because I had to make an account. He had to make it. I had to make an account for him. Then I had to make a
Wow.
third account, and then I just never know who has like the
Yeah.
power to do it. Put the card on, and then you have to send it to him.
You got to do
it's a,
it differently on every. But Lewis
it's
plays on
awful.
one. Simon plays on a different one. One of them is
Ugh.
impossible. I don't remember which one, but I'm like,
I
takes
know
like
your
a half
kid.
an hour.
I know your kids are young, Ben, but do you foresee this happening soon? Would there be interest for them?
I mean, maybe I don't know. One of them, the older one, is playing like Mario on the iPad. So, and then he does ask me for like in-game purchases of like things that he plays, but he plays like simple games like you roll the ball on the maze that's elevated or whatever. And he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Dad, I want $5 for the special ball." And if I'm annoyed enough, I get it for him. I'm like, okay, please stop asking. Like, okay, it's worth $5 for you to not ask anymore.
Oh man.
But that's about it. I don't know.
You're gonna have to tell us on some things here soon. I mean, they're gonna be well versed, and you're gonna be well versed because you're gonna have to figure it out.
I know. I already had to learn how to do Rubik's cubes. By the way, I know how to solve Rubik's
But
cubes,
yeah, been
Really?
there.
and it's disappointingly like there's no trick. It's not like you like can sit and like play with it and like your mind starts to wrap around the puzzle. It's not like that at all.
Really?
It's so disappointing.
There's
It's
a
you just
pattern.
memorize where the colors are and then you memorize an algorithm. Oh, it's two turns on the front and the middle one goes this way, and it's just a sequence. And you just memorize the sequence, and it's like disappointing. And that's how all those guys on YouTube just go clickety click 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 and do it in 2 seconds.
But they got to see when it's all messed up, and they first look at it, then they go
Yeah.
like, and they figure it out.
Yeah,
Is
they
that
just figure out like the orientation and then like, okay, there's a red one in the corner and there's a blue one in the other corner. Okay. And then there's a blue one on the backside, and then that's all they know. And then that's all they need to know. They get it to like a certain point, and then they just like, I know I twist the top thing down twice and then the bottom thing over 3 times. And it's like, and then it's like back over, up, down, back over, up, down, and like, BA, select start. Like it's an algorithm. And and I learned that. I was like, it's so disappointing. Like, I've been trying to play with one and like figure it out. I was like, no, like that's not what they're doing.
I
Like,
can only get the one half and maybe like 3/4 of like a second
That's
side.
because you're
because you're trying to
trying.
solve it. You're
Yeah,
not
that's
doing
because
it.
you're trying.
You're trying to solve it, and that's not right. Like you just have to learn what the algorithm
Unbelievable.
is. Yeah, I know, isn't it? It's soul crushing. I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to learn a Rubik's cube already. So
And the reason we figured that out is because now you can just look everything up on YouTube. So
Yes.
Simon just looked it up on YouTube, and 5 minutes later, he's solving Rubik's cubes. And I had to take him away because I think they were turning him autistic. He was like just flipping through them, and I was like, "All right, let's find something else to do." I
yeah,
just hear it, like you said, you click, 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 click. All right, put that away. Put it away. We already know
I
how it works.
bought I bought There's a special one you buy that you sit inside a robot and the robot solves it for you.
What?
Like, yeah, I know. My kid wanted it for
I never,
Christmas.
we
Just
we
whatever.
never
Like,
had
you
one.
sit in this thing and like there's an app to it, and then it figures out where it is, and then it just goes beep 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 beep. So it basically does it for you. I was just like, I bought the cube and I bought a thing, and then he just does it. I was like, what's the point? Like, I
Yeah.
bought a puzzle and I bought a puzzle solver. It's like, why are you in this mix? Like,
They've got an app that'll solve, because you can get those Rubik's cubes where they're like 2x2s, 4x4s, or whatever.
Yeah.
They've got apps, and then you can just hold one side up, and then in the app you put what four corners are up color wise, and then it would be like, all right, turn this, and you're done. And it's like, no, wait a second, you're not. What are you doing? You're just. I mean, it's keeping them off of Fortnite, I guess, for 5 minutes, but
it's in the real world. And
Yeah.
the funny thing about it is, like, in the 80s, it was like 3 years before someone actually solved one. Like, no one could do it.
right, because they couldn't look.
I thought it was
up and-
impossible.
yeah.
I never had one growing up. My dad tried to get us into yo-yos.
That's because your parents knew that there was no hope. They were like,
Thank you.
I'm not wasting any money on a Rubik's Cube. This kid can't even do a yo-yo.
But my dad was a yo-yo guy. Like, he could do like walk the dog and around the world and all that
That's
stuff.
fascinating. That's
I
great.
know. Al, right? So he bought that for my oldest nephew. Like really nice yo-yos, and he could have gave a shit. You know what I mean? I think my dad wanted like a yo-yo person in the family. Wasn't gonna be me.
Oh, he got one out of your yo-yo. Oh, that was a bad joke. Oh, there's the boo button. There's the boo.
There needs to be a button for the dad joke of the day, because that was
so
geez, that was clean.
Speaking of dad jokes and things from the past, can we talk about cargo shorts for a second?
Oh man,
feelings about cargo shorts. So, and I pulled this up and I showed my wife. So several years ago, there was an article, like they published articles about too many men are wearing cargo shorts and it's a fashion faux pas, and cargo shorts are awful, and if you wear them, you're awful, because they were incredibly popular. And now I've started to see them like in stores again. I've started to see
Coming
shorts. Yeah. And now it's just like the blanket is over. It's a fashion industry like gambit. Like they just make a bunch of cargo shorts and then get people that are popular to be like, nope, now they're all garbage. Throw them all away. Get regular shorts so that in 10 years I can sell you more cargo shorts. Like,
Well,
and I'm
so
very
that's your
upset
theory.
about it.
That's your theory.
No, it's I have the receipts. I could post the articles.
Well, no, I think it's just a fact. I mean, I loved we all loved cargo shorts.
Right? I mean, you couldn't buy shorts that didn't have 6 pockets in them. In the
what was the joke? What was the joke? They went, we'll hold your stuff. You go make friends.
Right.
Wait, what?
Cargo shorts. We'll hold your stuff. You go make friends.
Is that really a tagline?
You can put all the stuff in your pockets. You have nothing to worry about. Go make friends.
Although, like, stuff. You guys would probably admit cargo pants had a shorter shelf life. Like, I had a couple pair, and I'm like, this is too much.
Cargo pants that's like military, isn't it?
Right.
So they're usually camo.
No, I actually had a camo pair of cargo shorts. So they were thinner material. They're like Target or something for like $20. They were thinner material. The pockets weren't as like bulky. And those are the only pair I've had in the last. I don't have them anymore, but those are the only pair I've had in the last 20 years. Probably.
So you say the pockets weren't bulky, so they were just like fashion pockets on pants?
No, they were there. They're just not as big as like those khaki shorts. You know, the khaki cargos were just a lot of khaki.
There was a lot. There was different variations. There was some with like really bulgy pockets.
Yes.
Right. And there was jeans. I remember jeans, full length jeans that had the cargo
yes
on the side.
For the hammer.
I remember who wore them.
I never did.
You're thinking carpenter. Michael, you're thinking carpenter. You're thinking
no.
You're talking about
Michael said he put a hammer in there. He's thinking carpenter pants.
Oh, you're not talking about carpenter pants.
No. I'm talking about cargo jeans.
I don't know if I've ever seen cargo jeans.
I can't say that I have.
You both have, and I'll tell you who wore it.
Oh God, please.
Chris Wade.
And was it a brand like one of those?
It was Jordache. I'm almost positive.
I don't know, but I remember I would go over to the Coates' house at IU, and because he lived there, and he had I mean, listen, we all were wearing, crazy stuff in the fashion. I'm not trying to
Oh man.
really stomp on it, but I just vividly remember that Chris Wade had jeans that had pockets on the side, like
Yes,
cargo
you're right.
pockets
You're
in the
right.
jeans.
You're right. I remember those. He loved
Can
those jeans.
can either of you give me an honest answer? Did you ever have the jeans with the decorated pockets on the back?
No, never.
Okay.
What
You're
do you mean
talking
they're
about
decorated?
what's it called? It was like 10
Or it's
years
almost
ago,
like
15, 20.
10 years ago, I saw a guy wearing them today.
Well,
Or
yeah,
is it
but
kind
like
of
they were popular like 15 years ago. I can't
with all
remember
this
the
like
name.
the stitching and like maybe kind of beaded and maybe sequins and stuff on the butt pockets? And
Oh no! Like I remember
How were
someone
those
like
called? They were huge,
what's
like in
that?
the Jersey Shore time. They were huge.
oh,
Like
yeah.
Oh,
the
there's a brand or something.
yeah, no, there was a brand, and I can't remember the name of it.
Hmm.
No, I just remember finding out like expensive jeans had like different stitching on the ass. Like so it
No,
was
not
heavier
necessarily
or something.
that. I'm thinking like these look really feminine, but a lot of
Oh
guys
no!
guys had been wearing them. I haven't seen them in a while, but I saw them today, and that's so bad. Just
It's
wanted
like
to say I like
it's
those.
like
As
people
a
that wore those like Creed.
make a friend.
People that wore those jeans like Creed and like
Creed, like the band.
yeah,
Did
Okay.
you say Creed?
yeah.
Somebody I cannot remember who it is, but somebody in the last 2 weeks told me they're getting ready to go to they're going to a Creed concert, and I did not know Creed was back together. Did you were you guys aware of this? Scott
I
Stapp, the
wasn't aware that they
original
broke up. Did
So
the
they
I
ever
original
stop?
well, he went through some major
yeah, he's back.
problems that pulled him away from the band. So
So I watch I read and listen to a lot of Barstool stuff, and they had a bowl game that was just gonna be televised like
what's
on
Barstool?
online. Barstool Sports. It's a media
Not familiar.
whatever. Yeah, you are. So, but somebody jokingly from Barstool said, "We would love it if Creed sang the national anthem," and Michael Stipe wrote back and said, "I'm in." So he sang the national anthem.
Did
Scott.
you just change his name to your
Michael
name?
Stipe is an REM.
And
So they wanted
he is
Creed,
not
and
allowed.
REM said, "I got this. Don't
So-
worry." Michael Stipe stepped up. And he's like,
Whatever his name
"We're
is.
no.
I think
You
I think
just said it
Michael
10 seconds ago.
No,
Like a
he
minute
said it.
ago.
He
You said,
said it. I just said
you
Creed.
said it.
He said his Scott. Scott, wait, what's his last name?
Yeah, Scott Stapp. Yes.
Stapp. Yeah, sorry. He said it first. I just said Creed. But yes, sorry, I'm trying to look up the pants because douchey designer pants. It's got to be.
pop right up.
So anyway, I'm not listening to fashion anymore. I'm just gonna wear whatever I want. Like if I think it's cool and comfortable, I'm just gonna wear it. And damned if it's not in fashion, like socks and sandals. If I want that, I'm wearing it. I don't care.
Hey, you
Well,
do
so I
you?
just looked. I looked
Black
up.
shoes and a brown belt, I'm in. I'm not letting fashion dictate any
Was
more
that ever
rules.
really like? I think if you had to match your belt and your shoes, I think you got more problems.
Or maybe it's belt and socks. I don't know. Listen, all the rules are out the window. Like I'm a terrible dresser, I will admit that. Like I don't have a good fashion sense, but I'm no longer going to like beat myself up for not living up to these rules. I'm
Like
done.
if I saw a guy who decided he was going to wear red shoes and then matched it up with a red belt, I'd have a lot more questions than I would. Like,
Well, so
I
I,
had a red
I
belt.
match. I
Oh,
try
look at that. I
matching.
got a red belt.
I try matching my shirt with my socks a little bit. I try to make sure they're kind of color
You
coordinated.
also put your socks on one at a time, and then you put a sock shoe, like some sort of.
So now Thad's gonna want to know
sociopath.
what that means. That's
Well, I just explained it to him.
I know exactly what that means. One sock, then the shoe.
Right.
Another sock, then the shoe.
Have you ever heard of any other human being doing that?
Maybe he should have told me one sock on one foot, one shoe on one foot, and then here we go, other
well,
foot.
the fact that we had a debate about shoes, or sock, shoe, or sock, shoe, and I told him
Well-
I sometimes do sock, shoe, and he lost his mind.
You're an animal.
I
Thank
am.
you.
I
It's
mean, I'm not normal,
sock, shoe,
Thank you.
and that's fine.
lace
I'm
up,
not like
lace up.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying you're an idiot. You know, it's not the cheese
No,
toast
'cause we
grilled
do it the
cheese
right
debate.
way.
It's not. There's no right way.
I will
There
tell
is.
you, my
Just a s-
son does sock shoe, but that's only because he sticks his foot in the air and makes me do it because he's 3.
Well-
So I have like one foot in my hand, so I just get it all done.
And that's fine. It's fine.
They're not switching back and
Digging
forth?
a little deeper. Is it the same foot first every time?
No. Oh God, no. And sometimes he's not facing me. Sometimes he's laying on his stomach and he's
I'm
just
talking about
kicked his hand.
personally for yourself.
Oh.
No,
Do you have a foot you start with every time?
no.
Like,
I probably usually the right foot, um, just by the way I sit at my kitchen table.
but you're left-handed, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
But I play sports right-handed and I right lefty, so I'm kind of all over the place.
A little bit.
Ambidextrous.
Sure.
You're
I could,
bi-handed. It's okay. You can be bi-handed. It's totally fine.
Thank you. Is that a new term?
Oh my gosh. Speaking of bi, can I tell you guys something? It's a little personal. I don't want to make anyone
do.
uncomfortable here, but
Who's bi?
so I have this dream. So, and in the dream, I kind of like, you know how you kind of come to in a situation and you're like, what's going on? So I'm in a relationship with a man, but the man is Oscar Isaac, the actor. Do you know who that is?
Wait, is he the guy from Grey's Anatomy? No, ER or like
That's George Clooney.
no.
No, Oscar Isaac. He was in Star Wars. He was in X-Men. He was Moon Knight. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Doesn't ring a bell.
But he's like famous. He's a famous actor.
Okay, so
He's very handsome.
clearly you have something for Isaac.
Let me tell you the story. Wait, Thad, do you know who it is?
I know who it is. Yeah.
Okay. I think somebody
he's a handsome fella. He's a handsome.
Yeah, right. He's an A-list actor, or maybe not A-list, but like he's teetering on, right? Like super famous. So anyway, I'm like in a relationship with this man, and then like I kind of come to, I was like, oh, I guess I'm gay with Oscar Isaac, and then like it comes time for me to kiss him, and I kiss him, and it's like kissing my dad. I was like, oh, this is horrible. And I'm like, come to the realization, it's like, I'm not gay. Like, do I tell Oscar Isaac that I'm not gay? And then I was like, I feel bad because I have like a really handsome guy. Like other gay men would be really upset about this. So in the dream, I'm like debating, like, do I like let this go? Like this dude's a
I guess it
celebrity.
depends.
Like, who am I?
How much did you have invested in this relationship going into it, or was it just?
I mean, I don't know. Like I didn't really know the history. I just kind of came to the realization. It was like, oh dear, like how do I get out of this?
Yeah, I remember him. He is a dreamboat. Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
And I like, who am I to be like, oh, I'm gonna turn down like that would be like the Scarlett Johansson equivalent, right? Like you've reached the zenith, and it seems like it's just like really disappointing, whatever.
I feel like you were every time you dreamed you were a gay man, and you just realized now at 44 in your dreams that you were not in fact gay, and it took Oscar Isaac to tell you that.
Wait, you wait. I only had the one dream where I was gay. You said I had all my dreams.
I just think maybe when you dreamed you were gay, and now this is the dream. This is where it all came to a head. You had a relationship with Oscar, and you find out that you're not in fact
I'm not
gay.
gay no more.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
is that what you woke up? Is that what you woke up?
You can't be gay with Oscar Isaac,
right? Is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Gay dreaming Ben was in love with other men, but didn't know that he really, in fact, wasn't until he kissed Oscar Isaac.
I know, it's disappointing, right? Like, I feel like that was my shot. Like, if you're gonna be gay, like you got to go to the pinnacle.
So, dreaming is fascinating to me. So, you clearly remember it, and sometimes when you want to remember a dream in the moment, like you forget it and it sucks. Yep. So clearly you remembered it.
I did.
When did you wake? Did you wake up right when you're like, oh, this is my dad, or felt like it's my dad? When did the dream get cut off and you're like, what was going to happen next? And have you ever tried falling back asleep to get back into maybe not this dream in particular to get back to where you were?
Yes, I've done that a lot. For this particular dream, I don't really remember. Right, I just remember waking up and I remember like thinking, I was like, oh, I guess I'm gay, and then having the kiss him, and I was like, oh god, this isn't right. Like, like I've gone horribly astray here. And then having that notion of like, well, how do I unwind this? How do I unring this bell? I'm now in a relationship with a famous celebrity, and like in the dream, I knew he was a celebrity because part of like the turmoil was like I could meet Star Wars people and like I could go to like these
parties.
Are you
going to use them?
Yeah, like, like I was
Yeah,
like,
but
he's famous, and who am I? Like, but it was like literally like it was me, not like some famous version of me. Like, it's me in
when
this
you
dream.
when you woke up, did you feel weird though?
Well, yeah, I felt weird, but
Or you're
My
trying to
my
figure
cur-
out like that wasn't real.
well, I mean, obviously, when I woke up, I was like, yeah, that was a weird dream, but
my
it makes
curiosity
sense.
is I don't, and maybe you guys are different. I don't think I feel things like textures and touches and stuff like that. So if you're saying you're kissing him and it feels like you're kissing a man, I want to know what you were really doing. Were you like
Yeah.
licking your pillow or?
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. I listen. I find this very fascinating, and that's why I wanted to share it because it was like because usually if I have a dream about a sexy time dream, it's usually like cut off before anything even gets to that point. So it's weird that actually happened.
So what if that kiss? What if you felt sparks?
Well,
Would you woke up and had a lot of questions?
Maybe
so let me ask you this: what if, and this has happened to you lately, where you kind of have a run-in with maybe someone that is famous, you know,
Tina Fey.
like Tina Fey,
Yes,
and
she said my name.
what if you ran into Oscar Isaac? Maybe he's shooting something in Atlanta, and you run into him. What happens? Do you feel compelled to at least tell him the story? Because I think that'd be
I
yes.
I don't.
I think that'd be borderline
Creepy.
psychopath.
Yeah, like
Hey, I
You
gotta
want
tell
you
you
want
about
to hear the story, but Thad, you want to hear the story. You'd want to hear that story.
the story of him telling him the story of his gay
yes,
Yes,
dream. Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
and that might be the only reason I might do it because I
Yes,
know
Yeah.
that's what I'm
it would
talking
be
about.
horribly uncomfortable. He would be mortified and be like, "Who is this psychopath?" I'll be like, "Hey, guy, I'm not gay, but I had this dream where you and I were a thing." He'd be like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
Give
yes,
me 2 minutes of your time. You're not gonna believe this. We
Well,
were passionately in love.
because he's a good looking celebrity. Of course, people are gonna have dreams that
you're
they're with him. Like,
and the best part is you're rejecting him at the end of the story.
We were passionately in love, but it didn't
and
work out
and
because you were
I
a
said,
terrible kisser.
Can you imagine him going to like Tonight Show and telling that story about how some random guy living in Atlanta came up to him, told him that we were in a relationship in his dream, and he said, "You weren't good enough for me." Like,
but see, now you get it. Now you get where like the whole like crux of this like weirdness came, right? It's like, you have a gay dream, whatever. Like you kiss a dude, it's like, yeah, that's about what I thought it'd be like, weird and not cool.
do
Like
you?
at least for me personally. And then it was like, but that's the whole thing.
Well, I
Like,
mean, it's almost gonna feel like a little bit real if you ever did see him in real life, because you'd be like, because you had that feeling, even though it was a dream. You know what I
I'm like,
mean?
hey, here's how I should go up to him and ask him if he's a good kisser. That's how I should start it. Are you a good kisser? Because I had a dream, and I don't think you are. Right? I would lure
Would
him in. He'd be like, wait, who told you? And then
is
what
there a
if he's
chance?
notoriously a bad kisser, right? And I'm like picking on his insecurity.
Is there a chance you were having some kind of game night a few weeks before, and you said if you had to go gay with a celebrity, who would it be? And did you say
No,
Oscar
because that
Isaac?
answer is Ryan Reynolds. I
Okay, so how did Oscar get into your head, though? Is the
I don't know.
question.
I don't know.
But you guys ever have those dreams where you wake up, you're like, "Wow, that felt real," and then something similar happens down the road, and
Oh
you're
yeah,
like, "What is going
absolutely,
on?" It's so
absolutely.
weird, and you
Have
don't
you
know what's real and like fake.
have you ever had the
Yes.
dream where, not necessarily a gay dream, but a dream about somebody, maybe a female, and
Yeah.
that somebody you see on a regular basis, and then things feel awkward the next time you see them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like coworkers, or like, because you don't want to tell them like a coworker, like, "Hey, I had a sex dream about you."
Oh,
That
it
did
wasn't
he?
just a sex dream. You were a freak.
Right? Yeah, and like the details, like they don't want to hear that. Like,
Yeah,
So Thad, did you hear the Tina Fey story?
I did hear the Tina Fey story. I love the Tina Fey story. I'd love to hear it
It's
again.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
I
and I
And
it,
already,
well, I heard the lead up to it because Ben was like, "I've always had a thing for her, and I'm going to
yeah.
see her tonight." And then later on that night, you're never gonna believe what happened. I'm like,
I
I don't
know.
believe it, but I do believe it because I know that he wouldn't just make that up. I'm like, that's insane, man. I don't
Like
believe
as
it.
I'm
Right.
texting you, as I'm texting Thad, I was like, "This sounds made up, right?"
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
always had a crush on her. She's on my top 5 list that there's no questions asked. The wife that can't get mad. And then she asked that specific question, and I was the only guy that stood up. I was like, me. She's like, stand up. She's like, what's your name? I'm like, Ben. She's like, Ben, are we doing this? I was like, ta-da. And I was like shocked. I didn't have like a pithy response. I
And
just said, yes.
that's one of the worst feelings on the planet because you want this moment so bad, and you just don't know what to say.
No, I was okay with it. Right?
That's good.
It's not my show. I'm okay with the interaction that occurred. And now, you know what? And now I'm gonna have one with Oscar Isaac.
Are you
He's
gonna
gonna,
send?
he's
You
gonna
gonna
be in
send?
a place and be like, who's gay for me?
You should slide
Has
into
anybody?
You should slide into Tina Fey's DMs and tell her
Normalize her.
you appreciate the moment.
I mean, what's she gonna? Isn't she's married with kids? Like, what's she
No, no,
gonna
no. I'm
do?
just saying. It'd be cool to get video of that. You think
All
it was
right,
filmed?
Michael, if you were gay for a celebrity that you could reject, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a good one. Ryan Reynolds is definitely up there for sure.
He's witty. I feel like he'd be fun just to talk to. So you get that, and then he's good looking and such.
Justin Timberlake, he's up there,
Yeah,
and I think
Thad,
the
what about
Biebs
you?
too. The Biebs would be my other one.
That's an interesting choice.
Are you picking them? Michael's obviously
No,
picking them for sexual reasons, not for conversation. So I was thinking maybe going after
I'm thinking.
somebody to have a good conversation with.
I
Well,
think
at
you go
first,
both.
no,
You got to go.
that was not the question that he said. That was not the question.
I think you could either way.
You could
I
be
mean,
gay with you don't have to
listen.
fuck them.
Well, I mean, though he asked, he
It has
asked
to
to
be
get.
the
You're
mix.
like,
The mix. You're doing them and you're talking to them, right?
Yes.
You're relating to them. You're
Yes.
hanging out. Yeah,
Mm.
it's the whole thing.
Man, I don't know. I might have to go after an athlete or something.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I don't know if I have one in.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah,
Interesting. He's tall, so
tall, handsome,
I don't know.
cool hat.
I don't know. Yeah, the hat.
Yeah,
thing.
I do want to know
I
what's
know.
the deal. What was the deal with the hat?
It was the style at the time. Which was the style at the time?
Everyone wore
pretty
a tall
sure-
hat. I mean, the dude was like 6'6",
I'm
wasn't
pretty
he?
sure
Like,
he kept something in there. I believe one of my children told me he learned in school, which I don't know how his teacher would know, but I believe he kept like his speeches in there or something.
Oh,
so I'm sure he had pockets.
I don't know. No,
Maybe
cargo
like
pants
cargo
were not
cargo pants
available
back then.
back in the 1800s.
That is one fad that kind of was sad that it went away because those were some dope shorts.
oh, I thought you were talking about hats. I also, and not the hat that you're wearing, like formal hats. I want hats to come back, like George Costanza said at Seinfeld. Like it's a bald utopia for everyone that can wear a hat, and you don't know. Like
What's the
big
Payne
brim
Stewart?
hats,
What's like the Payne Stewart hat called? It's like,
like a wedge cap.
a fedora or whatever.
Fedora's like
Not a
Indiana
fedora.
Jones. Yeah.
But you know what I mean, like the
Like a-
Scottish looking hat.
Yeah, there's like a.
That's what I'd want to rock. That's what
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd wear. But like
Yeah,
most
maybe
hats don't
board
look good on
hats
me
or
because I have such a massive head. So like top hat, no way. You can never find one.
I think what you should do is just overcompensate with the hat and go like sombrero or something.
Ooh, like a 10-gallon hat. Yeah, something
Yes.
big. Sombrero.
Oh yeah, like a big oversized cowboy hat.
That'd be good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Pull it off.
Yeah, that would be bad. I know I'd look good in it. You know what I mean?
And cargo pants, cowboy hat. What was there like a shirt fad that we can throw on him too?
I mean, I wore a lot of collared shirts. Lot.
Bum equipment. You had remember bum equipment?
Thad was a
You know
bum
what
guy.
I'm talking about?
He had a bum sweatshirt.
I had a lot of bum
I
sweatshirts.
think I did have a bum sweatshirt. Yeah.
I know you did. I saw you on the bus.
A lot of ladies in that sweatshirt.
Is that what it meant? There was like a
I don't know
whole
what it
bum
meant.
store at the mall, at Southtown Mall.
I don't know. It
one
was like
store.
B. Wasn't it like B period U period M period, or was it just bum? Did it stand?
Was there
for
actually
something?
a store that just was bum and sold only bum stuff?
I mean,
bum
there was a
store?
store. It was a store that had a lot of bum merchandise.
I
Yes.
think there was a store,
Chapman
but I
worked
don't
there.
think it was who worked there?
Oh, he worked at.
Chapman, Pacific Sunwear.
No,
They
no,
didn't.
no.
That was
This
before.
predated
Yeah,
that.
even like
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Stussy, and
Stussy. What were
yeah,
the remember the
Massimo, because that brand is now like they started selling it at Target. Because I had like I
yes.
was buying like Massimo shirts. It's like I remember this. And
They're
they
Yeah.
actually
sell
not
them at
bad.
Target
They're
now.
not they're pretty comfortable.
It was
Yeah,
like a surfer company that Target bought up or something. And,
yeah,
yeah.
yes. Isn't fashion
Do you
funny?
remember the pants, the skids?
Yep,
I do.
I had
Yeah.
shorts.
I
There
never
was
had them.
a.
They were
I
too
feel like
expensive.
there was like there was what was the other brand like Zoo
Zubaz.
Zubaz.
Yeah. Was
Zubaz
that
were
the
like
same one?
the NFL like different weirding
Yeah.
like
I think
tiger
I had like
print.
a it was like a tiger print, but it was black and white like a zebra, but it was a
Yeah.
tiger print.
What were the is the hypercolor? Were those the shirts that changed colors when you
Yeah.
like blew on them?
Hey, go on eBay and look for those things now. They're it's worth so much money
I'm
if you
surprised
still
that it
have
was
a
brought them
hypercolor
back.
shirt.
Yeah, I feel like they
Yeah, I
tried
don't
to, or
know.
maybe they've realized like selling like color changing indicator to like preteen and teen children is just a bad idea. It's like, hey, like let's point out their sweaty crotches a little further than
Are
like
you,
is normal. Like,
are you saying these $1 million corporations are actually having a heart? Like they don't care.
oh, you're
They
right.
still they sell candy cigarettes still.
They
Did
do,
those
don't
things work after you washed them? Those hypercolor shirts?
they?
Not after a while. I mean, I had
It
friends in
eventually
school that
went away.
yeah,
Yeah,
they did. They
You had a
stopped
friend
working.
that had one?
I did.
I had a hypercolor shirt.
Did you?
I think I had a
Skids and bum
hypercolor shirt
equipment were
too.
sold at the same store in the mall.
What was? Lid?
Skids
Oh,
and
skids.
bum equipment was sold at the same store in the mall, and I can't think of the name of it, but I remember I used to shop.
Would
there.
you? Would we all know it if
Well,
you said
it
it?
was probably like a buckle or something like that, or was it
It wasn't
before
the
that?
buckle. This was after the buckle. But I remember I did
You mean
shop.
before the buckle came?
Yeah, this is in Southtown Mall. Like
Oh,
when
see,
Oh my gosh.
did they have one?
in the
Did they have one at
80s.
Glenbrook?
I didn't go to Glenbrook. I lived on the south side of town. I don't know.
Hmm.
Southtown Mall. I don't remember
No.
It wasn't Get Wet.
that. No, that was the surf shop that Thad worked at.
It was.
Hot Topics. That's what it was. Hot Topics.
No, it wasn't Hot Topics. But what a great store! What a great goth store! I think
Was
they're still
that
in
the same
business.
store that had all the dildos and stuff, or was that?
That was Spencer Gifts.
Spencer's. Yes.
Let's just
Yes.
dissect an entire mall. What else is in the mall? Orange
Well,
Julius that went
Spencer's
away and came back. Like,
Spencer's was the store where you like if I go in there, my parents were like, you can only go to this aisle, but don't go
Yes.
beyond because
oh
it
yeah,
all turned to like sex shit after that.
yeah, they had a
It's-
dirty aisle.
Spencer's was a chain, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, we still
You
have
could
one
buy-
downtown, the original Stoners.
I'm pretty sure Spencer's you could buy like we were too young, we didn't know what it was, but you could buy like pot bongs and that kind of stuff
Yeah.
in there too, if I wasn't
Oh,
mistaken.
yeah.
So,
That was definitely
Like-
like the novelty gift shop thing.
yeah, but up front they had, like you said, stoners. They had like magic tricks and stuff like that to lure
Yeah.
the kids in, and then they're like, "Hey, come over here,
come
child."
look at this. Come look at this this shirt that opens up and it's a big penis on the end. Sweet.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
mom, can I get this trick deck of playing cards? Sure, I need to go in and get a new strap on for your dad, anyways. So
Right in the mall.
yeah, right there.
They didn't have sex stores in the mall. I think that would have saved the mall.
The only thing good about Southtown Mall was MCL Cafeteria. That was it.
Oh, wasn't
I
it
don't
Old
know what
Country
that is.
Buffet?
No, it was MCL.
There was an
What-
orange
is there a
Julius, I
difference?
remember, and that's all I remember.
Yeah.
Never had Orange Julius before.
What?
I mean, I've had people make them for me, but not like at the Orange Julius stand have I gotten
Yeah,
Orange
it's
Julius.
kind of like just a smoothie. Like it's an orange drink.
But there was a record store. I don't remember much of Southtown Mall, but I remember there was a record store right by the food court there, and my brother and I
Yeah.
walked in while my mom was off clothing shopping, and we came out with Two Life Crew, and they sold it to. I mean, we would have had to have been like 10 and 12, if even.
Was the
and they
explicit? Was
sold
the
us Two Life
explicit? Was that when they
That
did
was
the
before.
explicit?
Crew. Fully. They didn't do like.
Oh.
No. But with
edited
Metallica,
versions.
Metallica was like the one album was like the first one to get that, and that was like 90, 91, I feel.
Oh no, yeah, this one definitely had.
Like it had the tag on it that said, "Hey, this has a lot."
Parental advisory.
Yeah, because my parents were still married, and they were, I don't think they were married in 91, 92, but because my dad snapped it in half because he heard us listening to it. I think we
Was it
had
a
it on
record
like,
or a CD?
no, it was a cassette.
Oh, cassette.
It was a cassette. And we were listening to it. And my dad was like, "What the fuck?" And he just like said, "Give me that." And he snapped it in half, threw it in the trash. Well, my brother took a blank cassette, unscrewed it, and then he put the reel to reel in there and put it back together and wrote like Michael Jackson on there or something. And then he resurrected it from the trash.
Oh my
And
God! Does he still
That's
have
good.
it?
I don't know if we still have it, but I don't think we ever
No, but that'd be
toured.
a cool thing to hold on to. That's pretty innovative back then.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know what we'd play it on, but I don't know if we ever told my dad we did that. But yeah, we had for years, and we'd have to like silently listen to it on like headphones and stuff. And
do
it
you
was some
let
freak
Ben
shit.
listen to explicit lyrics of songs?
We don't promote it, but like we have an Alexa in our kitchen dining room, and
Yeah.
Hey Alexa, play Sexy Red.
Play Me So Horny.
Play
no,
me
but
so
like a lot of the music he listens to, you know, which is mostly the radio, like the normal version is not great.
It's already filtered.
Have you
Yeah.
heard, as I throw her name out there, have you heard Sexy Red? Have you heard of her?
No, no, I don't think so. Is that her name or is that the name of the song or the group?
No, that's
I
her
thought it was a
name.
Two Live Crew song.
Yeah, well, it's basically is it's her. She's a terrible singer, but she sings about things. She sings my pussy pink, my butthole brown, and then starts singing about what people can do to it. And I'm
What's
like,
her name again? So is she like a
Sexy
redhead?
Red.
She a redhead, I
Hmm.
assume.
Yeah.
No,
No, yeah, she is, but it's like paint. It's not real.
I mean, the WAP song a couple years ago
It's basically
was.
that. I
It
mean, you're not
was
letting him listen to that. You're letting him
no,
listen
no,
to
no,
a
no,
few
no.
cuss
But
words here and there, but
I can't stop that stuff. But like, no, I don't know if he's ever heard the song. I would hope not.
no, don't let him.
Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't knowingly do so, but at the same time, I feel like words aren't like that. I don't think it's going to make my
Right.
children worse or somehow, right? Like, I don't think it's going to rob them of some sort of innocence.
He's at the
I
age.
listen to that stuff. Like,
Yeah, he's at the age now that he knows it's bad to say, but it's okay for me to say it around him now. Right.
so wait, you cuss in front of him and you won't let him cuss?
Like I won't say the F bomb, but like, you know,
Yeah.
like cut the shit out, like that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
he knows
My
he
main
can't say it.
concern is like, yeah, just them saying stuff at school. Like that's what I want to avoid.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to have to hear. I don't have to have a conversation with another adult about your language. Like, but do I really care if you like? I don't want you to listen to that. Like, 'cause you're still really young. But like,
What Ben has taught
if
me,
harm you, like, probably not.
what Ben has taught me is like he is the kid that everyone tells us that he's so polite and this, that, and the other when he's not in the house, right?
Yeah,
When he's back home, he is a little shit at times and does normal things by picking on his sister and not listening or picking up his room. But it's bad when you, or the reverse, when you're a parent, you think your kid's perfect and then they're off fucking around at school.
Yeah.
So that's the blessing, be a shit here. That's the best place to be it. Then, because we had some friends where their parents thought they were perfect and we know that they weren't.
yeah, yeah. That's pretty common. Like, if your kids feel safe, that they act out at home, which is kind of what you want, because then that
Right.
means their
Right.
social battery is exhausted and they get home and they're like, bah, they just can't hold it together anymore.
Well, that, and I think there's also, if they fuck around, like if they're at a friend's house and it goes south, they might never get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
And at that
sure.
age, they should probably start thinking that way.
Yep. Oh, listen, I wanted to tell you guys something, and I can't believe I haven't told either of you this. This is something you don't know.
You're
And
gay.
this is no, I'm not. I'm only gay for Oscar Isaac until I
Totally
lure
not.
him.
Not that there's
so
anything,
far
not that there's
into a
anything wrong with that.
relationship,
There's nothing wrong with that.
and then I cut it off. I found out like 2 years ago, my grandfather and my grandmother were arrested for bank robbery. And my
Nice.
great uncle. They were bank robbers. Not just like once. Like they were bank robbers.
What's the time period?
the time period is like when Al Capone is running shit. Like they drove from Decatur, Indiana to Chicago to get like into the club or whatever because depression was like there, you couldn't find work. So they
Right.
went there and they're like, We'll do this." And so they're like somehow like knighted them or whatever. Like, okay, go start robbing these banks. And I don't know how many they did, but my grandmother is in the car, like the getaway car, and my grandfather and his brother are going into a bank and robbing it and get arrested as they come out. They called them the Decatur Dillinger Gang. And it was
Really?
like, yeah, we looked it up in the paper. Like it's for real,
You say
legit.
Dillinger?
Yeah, like Dillinger, right? Like because he's famous in Indiana for being a gangster.
Right. And there was another guy, because Dillinger's not from Fort Wayne, right?
I don't know exactly.
There was another bad guy that I bet your grandparents knew if they were doing this shit. He's buried over there by St. Francis, and they had some
Mhm.
kind of, when I was working at Deer Park, a bunch of nerds were there, and it was his birthday, and they were going to go to his grave site and have a beer and celebrate how much of a badass he was.
So
That is
yeah,
awesome.
So
so
did they do time? Like hard time?
yes, yes. So, and the reason we found out is because when my uncle died, the kids started like sifting through the stuff and got the birth certificate, and they found this thing, and they're like, "Hey, there's this like weird thing. Like it has grandma's name on it, but it also has this other name. Like." And they start asking about it. They start asking like aunts and uncles and like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah." They're like,
What side? Mom, dad?
my mom's side of the family. So
So it's
she has like
your
8 brothers and
mom's
sisters.
parents,
Yes, my mom's parents.
and she
Yeah.
had no idea.
No. So, but apparently like half the family did know.
Wait, this
Like
is
the older
your
some
Grandfather.
mom's parents?
yes, my mom's parents. Yes.
Okay.
That's outstanding.
So this is like,
So,
yeah, not like
Was this pre
grandpa's
kids?
grandpa.
Pre
yes.
kids. They stay
So
together through jail or prison or whatever, and then
so almost. And this is part of how they found out. So the grandparents, my grandparents, like they had a bun in the oven, which was my uncle. And she had the baby in prison. And then because she was in prison, it had to go live with essentially the neighbors that they were very good friends with. And the neighbors raised my uncle Bill for like several years
until they got out.
until they got out. And then
Isn't that
Bill would
amazing that
come.
went on that back then?
I think a lot of this story is amazing. And then like because then my aunts and uncles always had this notion of like, well, the neighbors always come over and they give Bill like extra Christmas presents, and they're not giving any other of us kids Christmas presents. They're always like treating him differently. And they like some of them knew, like the older uncles, and maybe one of that my aunts knew,
Well, when they
but
passed away, why didn't they tell the rest of their siblings?
that nobody knew until he passed away, until they
Wow.
dug up the gifts, the death certificate or the birth certificate, and so there's the other name on it because they had to give the child away to the neighbor and it had that name on it too. And so my cousin Derek is like going around to the family like, what is this? And finally got the explanation out of like my uncle Tom. He's like, yeah, that's because grandma and grandpa were robbing banks. And then like we found out like it was in the local paper, the Decatur Dillinger gang or blah blah blah, right?
Hell yes. I'm looking that up tomorrow. What is their
So
last name?
Garwood. So
Garwood.
Garwood,
Did
yes.
they have
It was Ivan and
Ivan?
Deloyd, I think, was his uncle, and then
What's your
Lucille Schaefer was his wife.
Lucille was your grandma?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Ivan. Dude, that's Ivan's a great name if you didn't like. Is that one of your kids' middle names? Because that'd be
No,
dope.
no, no, no. Never
Did
mess
they
with
did
that.
they have a bank robber name? Like a did
I
they
just
like
told it to you. The Decatur Dillinger
no, did
gang.
they like that was their group. Did they individually like left
No,
eye or
no. Listen,
patch?
none of this. Like, and I was close with my grandparents. Like, I used to go over to my grandmother's house, and like, as that was daycare for me growing up. And my mom would be at work. Like, and I was like semi raised by these people, and like they were. I mean, you would have never known. And I
Well, so
wish I
the-
would have known. I would have asked him 1,000
So
questions.
So
but
they were-
did time. They get out
Yeah.
and then they had your mom. So your mom was when they were back on their good
Feet.
behavior.
So yes,
they
so,
did
but
it. They did it because they were broke, right? This is their way to survive. That they were
Yeah.
probably normally good people, but if you have to eat, you
Depression
have to do
era,
whatever.
let's-
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it was Depression era, no work, robbing banks, get out, get the kid back, and then have like 9 more kids. My
Is there-
mom's like one of the youngest.
Is there
So
more
this
you can
was,
find out to the story? Like did grandpa hide some money, like Shawshank
Curly?
style?
I was
got
going
it.
to say Sea Slickers, but I wish.
You
I
know,
don't think so.
It got out, was able to have 8 kids, and not have to rob any more banks. I know the depression ended, but still.
I mean, maybe, right? Like he did have a lot of kids, and maybe that he used it to build a business. I don't know. Like those are all questions I would have loved to ask him had anybody known. So anyway, my mom finds out and is like freaked out. Her world is like shattered, and and like some of the other aunts and uncles are telling their kids like you can't tell anyone, like no one else could know. And like I find out, I'm like, oh my gosh, like the first thing I think of is like I gotta call my cousins, like we have to discuss this immediately. And so I mentioned it to my cousin, and they're like, oh, like his parents didn't tell him, like you can't tell. I'm like, screw that, no way. He needs to know Ivan was a bank robber.
So
That's amazing.
is your mom still a little sensitive to be like,
She's
like if you dropped a joke at Christmas and said, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna go rob a bank today," like how would she do with that?
I think she finally got over it to the point where because my stepdad Bob was like consoling her and was like, listen, was he any different? Like he was always the same person to you. You never knew. Right.
Right.
It's not like he was a different secret person and would go like murder people on the weekends. Like, he did a thing, a
Right.
nonviolent crime and got caught for it. Like it doesn't change who he was. He was still always the same person. So like I think she's finally over to the fact that it's like, yeah, it doesn't mean he was bad, like, and I shouldn't be ashamed. But she definitely had that like that initial reaction of like, oh, this is
Well, she probably felt like she was lied to her whole life.
well,
Which she kind of was.
yeah, that was a pretty
I mean,
huge family secret that we were,
That's remarkable, and I would it'd be awesome if you were younger and you can dig up stuff and like write, do school on it. Like
trust me,
papers.
I'm curious. Were these like? I mean, are we talking armed robbery? I mean, are they
don't
bringing weapons? I mean,
maybe.
passing
Graham,
notes. What are we doing?
was Graham's killer in that Tommy gun? Like
That's what I'm wondering. Are they stacking bodies or?
I don't know. I don't
passing
think
notes?
so. Because again, I don't know. Like they obviously weren't great at it if they were caught. So
I think my grandfather had a past, and I don't know the true story, but I feel like there's a lot of shit out there. Like
I would love a picture. I want to see my grandfather's like mugshot or in front of the bank when they
he
got
probably
him.
had a nice hat, like a cigar hanging out. And he's like,
Yeah, see? Yeah, he talking about gangster from the 30s movie.
Oh, well,
Probably.
kids, I need to wrap it up. It's time for bed for me. I think we should do this again, Thad. I enjoyed having you on.
No, I'd love to. You guys, you have to give me the make and model on your microphone so I can feel a little more professional next time, a little more prepared.
This is
I'm
this is
kidding.
nothing great. This is like $65. I took the stand off because I don't really have a desk.
Yeah. I got this
So-
for Christmas.
Yeah, his is dope. Mine this is
Very
like
nice.
$80.
I'll chase it down. I'll work on the studio. If we could do it maybe like an hour and a half earlier where I'm not falling asleep in my chair here. But I know we're all busy. We have busy lives. So.
You got to caffeinate it up.
Yeah, we normally do it around 9 o'clock because I don't know about bed, but I put my kids to bed.
No, I get it. I've been in the car all day driving back from Michigan. So if I didn't bring the energy today, I promise I'll do it next
No,
time.
you're fine. This is your first timer, man. Like it's like we've been doing it for years. This is
Right.
our 4th episode. So
3 whole episodes.
Very nice. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
All
I love
right.
seeing your faces, boys.
yeah, it was a good time, and I will call you. We'll talk again. Soon,
Oh,
I promise.
see, we're making
Look
friends.
Look at that.
I love it.
Look at that.
Bring it
Yeah,
full
look at me.
circle.
Look at me sending out a nice, loving text to my friends a few weeks ago, and I didn't even get a call.
Yeah, I was. God, what was I doing? I was in the middle of something. That's why I didn't respond. Oh, I was hosting a
In the
Big
middle
Brothers
of something. Yeah.
Big Brothers Big Sister event. I saw it and I was like, I got to take time to read this, and then it became 10 o'clock at night. So my
Yeah.
apologies.
When I sent it out, I figured Michael would be in the middle of something.
So I really don't do anything else other than like that was the one time I hosted. So thanks for busting my balls, Thad. You asshole.
Nah, I'm just go easy on you.
Do you have some outro music for Dads Without Friends? This is
Oh, that's all. Okay. All right. There's our.
thanks for coming on with us. Until next time.
Good night, everybody.